Hi, I'm Beck and welcome to my March to be read pile. These are the books I am aiming to read during the month, and they include physical reads, also library books, and potentially some ebooks as well, because I have caught up with the rest of the world and I've gone, I actually have a Kindle, maybe I should try and use it when I access my library books. So I'll start with the physical books that I already own that I would like to read. I've only got like 7 or 8 books on my actual physical to be read pile, and I keep them all on my cart, so that is a pretty doable number, but library holds and new releases tend to move that around a bit. So the first book that I want to read is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is the 10th anniversary edition, and I've read all of the other books previously. There's 4 of them out. It's believed to be a 7-book series, and she's re-releasing all of the books in the new covers in May. So if I start this soon, it means that I can get kind of ahead of the curve when the new books eventually come out in this series. This book is about Paige Mahoney. She is a clairvoyant and the year is 2059. And this Republic of Sion, which is where Paige lives, for the last 2 decades or more have been running this campaign against unnaturalness, which are basically clairvoyants, and Paige works for the underground clairvoyant society in the criminal underworld. And in the beginning of this book, she gets apprehended and taken away, and she has to survive in this camp designed to kill her, while also learning more about her magic under the supervision of Warden, who isn't human. I'm really looking forward to rereading this because I think it's going to be so much more tightened than the first time, because Samantha Shannon has gone back and kind of rewritten and re-edited things. So I don't anticipate any major changes. I just anticipate a bit more of a flow than the first time. Not that it was by any means bad the first time. I think I gave it 4 or 4.5 stars the first time I read it. So I'm anticipating that it will be the same, if not a higher rating the second time through on the edited version. I'm really looking forward to this because Samantha Shannon wrote this when she was very young, 19, and now that she's gone back and she's got a bit more experience under her belt, I'm looking forward to the experience of revisiting this again, not only for all of the familiarity, but for seeing all of her growth as a writer too. I reached once more again for my to be read card, and I've pulled off Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett, which is a high stakes science fiction fantasy story, and I think it's about a thief who steals something from a warehouse with dire consequences. That's all I need to know about it. A heist set in one of my favorite genres. Robert Jackson Bennett tends to write stories that have such a almost crime center focus with that mystery thriller aspect, but then also root it in the fantastical, which I personally just love. That combination of genres is top tier to me, and I've loved City of Stairs. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I want to go out and buy The Tainted Cup, which is his new release this year, and I'm like, Beck, you need to hold your horses and read Foundry Side instead, because maybe you should read the stuff by him that you already own before you go out and get new stuff by him. So I'm chomping at the bit to sink my teeth further into his works. So hopefully I can start this one in March. I am really excited about it, but because it's got small text, for some reason I keep going, oh, it's intimidating. It's 500 pages. I read Brandon Sanderson, which is 1,000 pages. I think I'll be fine. And then speaking of Brandon Sanderson, coincidentally, I am planning to reread The Way of Kings Part 1 and 2. This is the same book, so, like I was saying, pretty chonky. And I want to reread these because the 5th book in this series comes out in December. But because each book is 1,000 pages long and I've got 4 of those to get through, I don't know how quick I'm going to do that. I've reread all of them before, so it's not like this is all new uncharted territory. So when you're rereading something, it tends to go a little bit easier and a bit quicker. So I think I'll be able to get through these in a fairly decent time frame. But these ones follow a multitude of characters, mainly Kaladin. He is a soldier who used to be a surgeon, so he's a healer turned killer. And at the beginning of this book, he is a slave in a cart. He's trying to both not give up hope and also potentially escape, but every time he tries to do something good, he says, I end up getting people hurt. And oh my god, Kaladin, favorite character. There's also Adolin and Dalinar, who are both high nobles in this world, and they are in the throes of a political and also a physical war with the Parshendi, who take over the desert. And behind all of this plot that is happening in present day, previously you open the book thousands of years ago, and the heralds who came to this world initially, they say, something's going on with this world, things are going to be destroyed, and if we don't try and fix it, then the apocalypse is coming. So somehow that world building ties into present day and our characters may or may not be involved and have a solution or not. And I just love the unfurling of the world building, the depth of these characters, and just how epic and cinematic these are. Every time I reread them, I can picture everything blow by blow in my head, which is pretty incredible, and I'm so excited to reread them. If I don't get to those, after hyping them up like that, I'm going to be very embarrassed. Then excitingly, I have my Kindle, so it might not be exciting to you guys, but apparently I've just decided to join the Kindle revolution, and I have Dragonfall, and I've seen this book talked about around the same time that Fourth Wing released, because they were both dragon books that released around the same time, although I don't think they have any similarities except like, woo, dragons! And I'm keen to try this one out and see if I like it, because when Fourth Wing came out, I was like, oh, I don't know if it will be my thing, and then I read it and I had a lot of fun with it, so I thought I'll try this one as well and see if this book is also my thing. When it comes to a synopsis, I really don't have any idea. I'm going to give it a try, so I guess stay tuned. I'll talk about it in later videos if I end up liking it, putting it down, finishing it, loving it, hating it, I don't know yet. Then from Libby, I also have The Rise of Kyoshi, which is an Avatar book, and with all of the hype about Avatar lately, with the new show coming out that I am really hopeful is not terrible, with that show coming out in February, I'm like, maybe I should finally get to some Avatar stuff. So I've read a bunch of the graphic novels and I've loved them, but I've seen the book around for Kyoshi and I just haven't touched it. So Avatar Kyoshi, I think she might be like in a sapphic romance as well, which I am keen for, but I think it's about her taking on the responsibility of being the Avatar, knowing the elements already more intimately than Aang does when he goes through the Avatar journey. So because she knows all of the elements already, I think it's a bit more political potentially. Basically, I don't know. And because it's YA, I have kind of put it down for a while and just gone, oh, it's okay, I don't need to read it yet. But because my library has it and because I can access Libby on my Kindle, which is revolutionary to me, I'm going to try it. I'm going to borrow it and try it. It says that I am first in line, but I have been first in line for like a week and a half. So we'll see if I get it at some point. Hopefully it will be in March, because if I don't get it within 4 weeks, that's a little bit silly, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then next, I put this book on my February to be read pile, which I don't know, it kind of says, hey, my mood reading is all over the place. And this is one that I was also supposed to read on audiobook, and I'm not reading as many audiobooks this year as I was last year. So that is Summer Night, which is the 4th Dresden Files book. I currently, as I'm filming this video, I'm still reading the 3rd book, Grave Peril. So I don't know how quickly I'm going to get to Summer Night. This is about Dresden, who's a wizard detective. He solves supernatural murders. In this one, I think it's more about like the Fae courts and seeing into the Never Never, so the layer of magical existence that is between our reality and the magical one. As always with Dresden, he is solving some kind of gruesome crime, working with the police as a consultant and also the magical world as well, and building different relationships and connections with not only like vampires and werewolves, but also with the Fae courts and everything, and just human allies too. I really love this series and I really need to kick myself up the butt and continue reading it, because surely there is some way that I can integrate audiobooks into my routine more seamlessly than just when I'm commuting. Surely there's a way. I just need to motivate myself to do it, which is sometimes just really hard. If you have a routine and a habit, then it's hard to change that. But I'm going to introduce a new habit. I just don't know when or how yet. And that is listening to more audiobooks. And then another carryover, but one that I desperately want to get to during March, because the sequel and the final book in this duology, I'm so upset it's a duology. I thought it was a trilogy, but that aside, Silver Under Nightfall is getting its sequel and ending in April, and I need to reread this again before it comes out, because I need to know all the things. I need to revisit my favorite characters. I think I'm going to suffer an epic book hangover when Court of Wanderers comes out, and I think it comes out at the end of April. So if I read this at the beginning of March, I'm going to have longer to wait. Surely I'll read this after I've read The Way of Kings. It's kind of like last on my priority list in terms of my March to be read pile, which is why I'm holding it up last, just because the timeline really works that way. And I know that the Stormlight book comes out in December, but there is a lot of reading ahead of me, okay? So I'm prioritizing Way of Kings before I'm prioritizing this. Will I change my mind? Maybe, probably, most likely, because I tend to just chop and change my reading plans all the time. Even though I have a rough plan, I'm like, it's more of a guideline. But those are all of the books that I would very much like to read, hopefully finish during March. Let me know if you have read any of them, because I mean, some of them have been out for a while. I don't know of any new releases that I'm interested in for March. So this is all my to be read cart, my rereads. I am living my best life. But thank you so much for watching this video. I'll come chat to you down below in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.